Johannes Vermeer, also known as Jan Vermeer, was a Dutch painter of the Baroque era, best known for his unique and masterful depictions of domestic scenes. He was born on the 17th of October, 1653, in Delft, a city in the Netherlands, and died on the 5th of December, 1634, in the same place. Vermeer is considered one of the greatest painters of the Dutch Golden Age, and he left behind a relatively small but incredibly significant body of work. Vermeer was not a widely recognized artist during his lifetime, and only a few of his paintings were sold during his life. In fact, it is still not precisely known how many works he created in total. The number of attributed paintings is around 35 to 40. Despite this small number, Vermeer left a lasting impact on art history. What makes Vermeer so special are his sensitive, detailed portrayals of interiors and everyday scenes. Many of his works focus on simple but profound snapshots of life, such as women engaged in daily activities like writing letters, playing music, or reading. He succeeded in presenting these scenes with such intimacy and calm that they captivate the viewer. Vermeer is especially known for his masterful control of light and color. He used light in particularly fascinating ways to create atmosphere and emphasize textures and surfaces. In many of his works, light is a central element that not only illuminates the scene but also conveys the mood and emotions of the depicted figures. Another notable feature of his art is his use of intense, saturated colors achieved through expensive pigments like ultramarine, made from lapis lazuli. These colors give his paintings a striking clarity and vibrancy. Vermeer's works were not widely celebrated during his lifetime. It wasn't until the 19th century, long after his death, that art historians and enthusiasts began to appreciate Vermeer for his exceptional art. Today, his works are found in major museums around the world, and he is considered one of the greatest painters of the Baroque period. Girl with a Pearl Earring. Girl with a Pearl Earring, 1665, is one of Johannes Vermeer's most famous and intriguing paintings. It depicts a young girl in a dramatic, upright moment, whose mysterious and almost mystical expression has captivated the imagination of viewers for centuries. Painted in the year 1665, it is considered one of Vermeer's masterpieces. The painting is especially renowned for the way the artist uses light and color to create an intimate atmosphere and draw focus to the central figure. The girl in the painting wears a wide blue cloak with a yellow collar and an eye-catching large pearl earring, which is a focal point of the image. The pearl earring is the central highlight that holds the composition together, giving the painting both simplicity and luxury. The simple yet striking clothing and the soft light that falls on the girl's face and jewelry imbue the image with a timeless quality. Particularly noteworthy is the subtle but expressive facial expression of the girl. Her large, gentle eyes gaze directly at the viewer, and her slightly open, expressionless face enhances the mysterious nature of the portrait. The soft transitions of light and shadow on her skin, a typical Vermeer technique, emphasize the liveliness of the figure. The contrasting dark background amplifies the dramatic effect and makes the girl seem as though she is emerging from darkness, as if existing in a different world. The lighting of the face is masterfully executed and showcases Vermeer's exceptional talent in using light to create form and depth. The choice of yellow and blue tones for the clothing, along with the cool white gleam of the pearl, intensifies the quiet, almost dreamlike atmosphere of the painting. The girl's identity remains a mystery, adding to the allure of the painting. There are many speculations, but there is no definitive answer as to who she was. Some art historians suspect it is simply a portrait of a young girl from Vermeer's surroundings, while others believe it may be an imagined figure that represented perfect beauty and youth for Vermeer. Girl with a Pearl Earring is famous not only for its masterful execution but also for the unique atmosphere it conveys. The painting invites the viewer to delve into the world of the girl, ponder her thoughts, and interact with her in an almost intimate silence. It is one of the most iconic works in Western art history, inspiring generations of art lovers and historians with its captivating simplicity and subtle complexity. The painting is now housed at the Mauritshuis Museum in The Hague, Netherlands, and remains a prime example of Vermeer's mastery of light and his ability to capture the essence of a human moment in a fascinating way. The Milkmaid. The Milkmaid, circa 1658, is a masterpiece by Johannes Vermeer, depicting a woman calmly pouring milk from one jug into another. Created around the year 1658, the painting is considered one of the finest examples of Vermeer's exceptional ability to capture everyday scenes in a way that exudes both tranquility and intensity. At the heart of the painting is a simple yet powerful depiction of a domestic task. The milkmaid, standing in a modest room, pours milk from a jug into another. Her clothing is plain, but the details of the textures, such as the soft glow of her blue dress and the light gently falling on her face and the objects in the room, make the scene come to life. The room itself is humble, yet the careful portrayal of light and shadow makes it almost tangible. Vermeer's masterful use of light is particularly striking. The light streams in from a window, bathing the milkmaid and the scene in a warm, almost golden hue. This enhances the sense of calm and peace that the painting conveys. The textures of the room, from the shiny clay of the jug to the delicate folds in the woman's clothing, are meticulously detailed, creating a sense of realism and depth. The composition is equally remarkable. The milkmaid is serene and introspective, which makes the painting particularly captivating in its simplicity and stillness. In this everyday moment, Vermeer manages to convey a deeper meaning by showing the beauty in routine and the nobility of seemingly ordinary actions of life. The Milkmaid is not only an outstanding example of Vermeer's skill in using light and texture, but also a symbol of the dignity and beauty of everyday life. At a time when many artists favor religious or mythological scenes, Vermeer here portrays the quiet significance of life in the domestic sphere. The painting is often seen as a symbol of patience, simplicity, and the quiet beauty of life. Today, it is one of Vermeer's most well-known and cherished works, housed in the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. The Art of Painting. The Art of Painting, circa 1666 to 1668, also known as The Artist in a Studio, is one of Vermeer's last and most significant paintings. It presents a self-referential scene where the artist himself, depicted as a painter figure, paints a young woman who serves as his model in his studio. The woman is dressed in a magnificent, Baroque-style gown and wears a crown, indicating the importance of the art being portrayed. The model is captured in a thoughtful, almost solemn pose, as she gazes at the image the artist is creating of her. The work is a powerful example of Vermeer's ability to elevate everyday scenes by enriching them with deep symbolic meaning and art theory. The painting contains several symbolic elements that illustrate various aspects of art. In the background, a map and a large, intricately painted curtain can be seen, underscoring the significance of representing knowledge and artistic creation. On the table in the foreground is a palette, which points to the artist's creative process. The Art of Painting portrays the act of painting as an intellectual and demanding process that requires both inspiration and skill. The color contrasts in this piece are typical of Vermeer, who is exceptionally skilled in his depiction of light and textures. The warm, muted lighting highlights the contours of the figures and objects, and the use of light enhances the depth and complexity of the image. The viewer is drawn in by the beauty and clarity of the scene, but also by the profound reflection on the act of painting and the role of the artist himself. This work is one of Vermeer's most important and final paintings, marking a pinnacle in his artistic career. Woman Holding a Balance. Woman Holding a Balance, circa 1664, is another masterful work by Johannes Vermeer, often known for its subtle symbolism and serene, meditative expression. The painting depicts a woman standing in a quiet moment before a balance, gazing at the scales of equilibrium. Her posture is thoughtful, and she seems to be deeply reflecting on something as she holds the scale. The painting plays with the symbolism of the balance, which represents both material wealth and the spiritual reflection of life. The scale can be interpreted as a metaphor for the pursuit of balance between worldly values and inner moral harmony. Notably, the woman's gold jewelry may symbolize her material wealth. However, combined with the balance and the delicate, reflective expression on her face, the painting highlights the significance of spirituality and the quest for inner peace and equilibrium. In the background of the painting, there is an image of the Last Judgment on the wall, which offers another clue to the spiritual dimension of the work. This depiction of judgment reminds us that balance is important not only in the worldly realm but also in the moral and spiritual life. Thus, there is a dual meaning. On one hand, the material aspect indicated by the jewelry and the balance, and on the other, the spiritual significance of the scale, raising deeper existential questions about life and human values. Vermeer utilizes his masterful command of light and color in this work. The soft, warm light that falls on the woman and the scale creates a calm and intimate atmosphere, emphasizing the inner peace and contemplation of the depicted scene. The detailed textures of the woman's clothing and the room further highlight the refinement and precision with which Vermeer created his works. Overall, Woman Holding a Balance is a profound and symbolic painting that encourages the viewer to reflect on the themes of material wealth, moral balance, and spiritual contemplation. It remains one of the most significant and fascinating works by Vermeer. The Little Street. The Little Street, circa 1664, is one of the few works by Johannes Vermeer that depicts an outdoor scene. It is a portrayal of a typical Dutch street, captured with remarkable attention to detail and Vermeer's characteristic precision. The painting shows a quiet, narrow street in a Dutch town, with traditional houses and a small group of people engaged in their everyday activities. In the foreground, a lower building with a large window facing the street is visible. A small, modest door and window frames adorn the facades of the houses. The architecture is reproduced with almost scientific accuracy, where perspective and the play of light and shadow play a significant role. This attention to detail and the precise representation of the building are typical of Vermeer's art and contribute to giving the painting a nearly tangible sense of reality. The street itself is populated by a few figures, a woman talking to another person, as well as another small detail in the form of a child or a craftsman, contributing to the atmosphere of everyday life. In contrast to the scenes in his interiors, where Vermeer often portrays the intimacy and inner world of the figures, the Little Street focuses on the public space, capturing life on the street. The depicted figures appear calm and reserved in their posture, giving the painting a peaceful, almost timeless atmosphere. What makes this painting especially remarkable is how Vermeer uses light. It gently pours into the scene, highlighting the textures and shapes of the architecture, as well as the simple, everyday objects. The use of light and shadow helps to create depth and emphasizes the calm, yet precise nature of the street scene. The Little Street is an excellent example of Vermeer's ability to depict everyday scenes with great accuracy and delicate empathy. It highlights the simplicity and beauty of ordinary life and shows how Vermeer treated architecture and public space with the same level of detail and sensitivity that he applied to his most intimate interiors. In its simplicity, the painting is both a tribute to the life and people of the 17th century and a masterpiece of Dutch painting. View of Delft. View of Delft, circa 1664, is one of Johannes Vermeer's most renowned landscape paintings, showcasing a stunning cityscape of his hometown, Delft. The work stands out due to the extraordinary attention to detail and Vermeer's mastery of light and reflections. It offers a fascinating view of the city, with a focus on the water, which serves as the central element of the image. The scene depicts Delft in a quiet moment, with a wide view of the flowing river and the sky above. In the foreground, the light reflects off the surface of the water, giving the painting a sense of tranquility and harmony. The reflective surfaces, whether the water or the gleaming rooftops of the buildings, are depicted with precise detail, emphasizing the natural shine of the city. These reflective elements are hallmark features of Vermeer's painting technique, adding an extra dimension of depth and life to the image. In this work, Vermeer uses light to emphasize both the urban architecture and natural elements like the water. The transition of light and shadow across the buildings and the river highlights the time of day, which can be interpreted as either morning or late afternoon. This subtle use of light is characteristic of Vermeer's style, giving the painting a poetic, almost dreamlike quality. The architecture of Delft is rendered with remarkable accuracy, from the gently sloping roofs to the narrow streets and bridges crossing them. The painting captures the typical urban life of 17th century Holland, with Vermeer emphasizing the simplicity and beauty of the cityscape without delving into depictions of people or bustling activities. View of Delft is not just an exceptional cityscape, but also an intimate snapshot of life in the Dutch Golden Age. It demonstrates Vermeer's ability to present everyday scenes with remarkable depth and precision, capturing the essence of time and place. The concert, circa 1664, is one of Johannes Vermeer's most famous works, depicting a serene musical performance. Unfortunately, the painting is now lost, and only a photograph of the work survives. Nevertheless, the significance of this piece for Vermeer's overall body of work and his ability to convey emotions and interactions through the depiction of music and sound is unmistakable. The painting depicted a scene in which several figures were performing music together in a room. A man played the cello, while a woman sang in front of him, and another woman played a musical instrument, most likely a harpsichord. The interaction between the figures was of particular importance, as Vermeer emphasized the subtle emotional nuances of playing music together and the harmonious connection between the musicians. The lighting in this work was expertly used to highlight both the figures and the textures of the musical instruments, as well as the atmosphere of the room. The light source gently illuminated the figures and their instruments, creating an intimate and harmonious mood. The interplay of light and shadow, a hallmark of Vermeer's style, further reinforced the sense of calm and the inner connection between the musicians. Another notable detail was the fine rendering of fabrics and surfaces. Vermeer was known for his ability to immortalize textures, whether it was the shiny surface of an instrument or the soft fabrics of the figure's clothing. This contributed to the painting's lifelike and realistic quality. Despite the loss of the painting, the concert remains a fascinating example of Vermeer's talent in capturing the harmony between people and art in a single, quiet moment. The fact that only a photograph of the work remains allows the impression of this masterpiece to continue to live on and demonstrates Vermeer's unique ability to visualize emotions and sound. Girl Interrupted at Her Music, circa 1664, is a fascinating painting by Johannes Vermeer that depicts a young woman sitting at a piano. She is captured at a moment when she was engrossed in her music or thoughts and has now been interrupted, perhaps by something or someone. The painting captures this moment of stillness and contemplation in a special way, highlighting Vermeer's talent for portraying intimate scenes of everyday life. The woman is shown in an elegant, stylish dress that emphasizes her posture and concentration. She sits at a piano, which is depicted with great detail and precision, showcasing Vermeer's mastery in portraying interiors and objects. The piano she plays is not just a musical instrument, but an important element of the scene that influences the space and atmosphere. The woman herself is captured in a moment of interruption. Her gaze is thoughtful, slightly distant, and her hand seems to be in motion, as though she has just paused or reacted to a sound that has broken her train of thought. Her facial expression and body posture make the viewer wonder about the reason for her interruption, whether it is a distraction, a break, or a conversation. The use of light and shadow in this painting is particularly noteworthy. The soft light that falls through the window onto the figure and piano creates a calm, intimate atmosphere, highlighting the details of the scene, from the texture of the clothing to the wooden surfaces of the piano. This lighting adds a gentle elegance to the scene, enhancing the quiet, reflective qualities of the painting. Overall, Girl Interrupted at Her Music, circa 1664, is a masterful example of Vermeer's ability to portray the everyday and quiet moments of life in a very empathetic and precise manner. It captures the beauty of a fleeting moment, allowing the viewer to feel the stillness and contemplation of the scene. The Geographer, circa 1664, is an impressive work by Johannes Vermeer that depicts a scholar surrounded by maps and scientific instruments. This painting emphasizes the pursuit of knowledge and intellectual endeavors, while also showcasing Vermeer's mastery of light and space. The painting shows a man sitting in a room, intently studying a map. He wears a simple yet elegant outfit, which underscores his intellectual and focused demeanor. The geographer is surrounded by various objects that symbolize his scientific interests, such as a globe, a map, and other scientific instruments, highlighting the importance of knowledge and research. Vermeer uses his typical play with light to bring the scene to life. The light gently falls on the geographer, illuminating his figure as well as the maps and instruments, making them stand out. The light creates a calm, almost meditative atmosphere, emphasizing the geographer's concentration and the significance of his intellectual process. The attention to detail with which Vermeer portrays the objects in the room is extraordinary. Particularly striking is the globe, which plays a central role in the painting. The precise depiction of the maps and instruments allows the viewer to sense their importance in the context of discoveries and scientific studies. It is clear that the geographer is deeply immersed in a moment of scientific exploration or research. In the background of the painting, a window can be seen, through which soft light streams, illuminating the scene. This light not only contributes to the physical illumination of the surroundings, but also creates a deeper, symbolic dimension by underscoring the intellectual and contemplative process of the geographer. The flow of light becomes a visual means to symbolize intellectual enlightenment and the pursuit of knowledge. Overall, The Geographer, circa 1664, is a masterpiece by Vermeer that depicts the search for knowledge and intellectual discovery in a calm and impressive way. It is another example of Vermeer's extraordinary ability to imbue everyday scenes with deep meaning and emotional resonance, while simultaneously emphasizing the beauty and significance of intellectual life. The Lace Maker, circa 1669, is one of Johannes Vermeer's most well-known works, distinguished by the delicate, intimate portrayal of a young woman focused on the art of lace-making. The painting captures a moment of quiet concentration and craftsmanship, showcasing Vermeer's exceptional ability to convey both detail and the tranquil atmosphere of a scene. At the center of the painting is the young woman, dressed in simple yet elegant attire, sitting at a table where her unfinished lace work rests. Her hands are precise and skillful in their work, while her gaze is slightly downward, as if entirely absorbed in her task. The concentration of the woman, her calmness, and her dedication to her work are heightened by the soft play of light that emphasizes her figure and the delicate lace work. The expression on her face conveys a quiet meditation, making the painting particularly poignant in its simplicity and clarity. Vermeer is known for his precise depiction of light, and in The Lace Maker, this talent is expertly employed. The light gently falls on the woman's face, her hands, and the intricate lace work. This lighting creates not only a serene and intimate atmosphere, but also highlights the textures and the delicate, almost fragile nature of the lace work. Especially notable is the contrast between the soft light on the woman and the subtle shadows that accentuate the details of the room, giving the painting a sense of depth. The composition of the piece is harmonious and restrained. In the background, we see a simple yet elegant room, characterized by clean lines and a soothing color palette. The sparse furnishings draw the viewer's attention back to the woman and her activity. It is a painting that celebrates the beauty of the ordinary, placing the moment of quiet work at the forefront. The Lace Maker is a perfect example of Vermeer's ability to depict everyday scenes with extraordinary precision and depth. It is not only a masterful portrayal of a craft, but also a celebration of concentration, devotion, and the beauty found in the simple things of life. The fine details and the calm atmosphere make this work one of the most significant and moving paintings of the Baroque era.